His love, of His love. Well, I want to dig a little deeper in His love. Dig a little deeper in His love. Dig a little deeper in the storehouse of His love, of His love, of His love. Well, I want to walk a little more like Jesus would. Talk a little more like a Christian should. I want to dig a little deeper in the storehouse. I want to dig a little deeper in the storehouse.
Yeah.
Dig a little deeper in the storehouse of His love, of His love.
I caulked my windows.
I'm using compact fluorescent light bulbs.
I added more insulation.
I installed a programmable thermostat.
Fuels used to generate electricity are getting more expensive and driving up prices. Your local cooperative is working hard to develop solutions. You can do your part, too, by taking simple steps to make your home more energy efficient. Because together, we have the power to make a difference.
This message brought to you by Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation.
This is Reggie Smith with the Gaither Vocal Band, and you are listening to one of Southern Gospel's finest stations.
The home of great gospel music, WSGI AM 1100, Springfield's God Informer.
Red as the
One street over there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold, but things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I have today. Time gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Hello. Hey, everybody. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's going on One Street Over from where you live? And Dr. Danny Weeks, our director of schools, is in the house, and yeah, we're chit-chatting. We're friends, and I was telling him, I said, man, the Lord was showing out this morning over the skies. Heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. What was going on this morning? It's supposed to be that the planets are aligned over the next couple of days, and also meteor showers, all this kind of stuff. So I said, yeah, we get up at 4 and go walk. And his question, just as I was opening the mics, was, what time do you go to bed? Ideally, we love to be headed to bed about 8:30, right in there. Sleep by 9:30 at the latest, because you can get about 6-7 hours of sleep. My husband was a roofing contractor. I've always done morning radio in some capacity. It's just the world we've always lived in. So they're just the spectacular beauty in the early morning sky. Oh, my husband, he said, you need to start walking with me in the morning. And I was like, Oh, it's been the best. I absolutely love it. It's so quiet and peaceful. And this morning we had two of the planets that, even these phones blow my mind, what you can take. So I got a pretty good picture of two of the planets just side by side, and then I kind of pulled back. If you look at the pictures that are on my social media, it's pretty cool. And then I saw one meteor out of the side of, kind of out of the corner of my eye. He's way more observant than me. And then he said he saw two, but they say tomorrow morning there's supposed to be a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll be up. I hope we got rain in the forecast though. So that we don't want the rain up there. We got hoping the rain. I mean, we need the rain. I know the cornfields need the rain, farmers. Yes. But man, I'm hoping we don't have clouds and rain in the morning because I want to get up and see it.
I think getting up at 4 in the morning, I have to do that during snow days and I have to do that, things like that. But I just can't make myself go to bed at 8. That's the difference.
Well, you've got an awful lot of things that, I mean, just like honestly and truthfully, tonight I work with Celebrate Recovery tonight and tomorrow night. And if I weren't working with Celebrate Recovery tomorrow night, I would be at the pep rally on the square that's been moved to MLK Park. I hate that that's on Wednesday night because I've got obligations at my church.
Right.
And I'd be there, and that's going to go till 7:30. I mean, I'd probably be done, but there's so much stuff after school. People have no idea the stuff that goes on. We're trying to get we're going to do a talent show at Greenbrier right out the gate. I want these kids that, well, number one, it's going to be an opportunity for the broadcast club to run sound and do that type of work. And it'll be a fundraiser for our club. Our broadcast club's got over 20 kids in it now. I'm just so excited. All brought their permission forms in, and we'll have more probably before it's over. But so the broadcast kids will be running the sound and do all those things. But we can charge the parents that one night and make some money for our club, but we're going to do it for free during cat time on the Monday and Tuesday. But y'all moved the school board meeting to the first Monday in October because of fall break.
Fall break.
Yeah, we wanted to do it on Monday night. And Dr. Osborne says, I think that's school board. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then I thought, oh, yes, it is because the next week's fall break.
Right.
So, oh, well. So I guess we're going to do it on that Tuesday night. I have got to talk to Dr. Osborne and get, the final stamp of approval, but you'll have to come to our talent show.
That would be fun.
It'll be fun.
And you mentioned that. I just finished my calendar for the fall yesterday. So I have all the sports for middle schools and high school, starting to get some band and choir things.
Yeah.
And so you're right. I mean, there are 4 events on most every hard, and I try to hit at least 2 of them every night.
See, that's just it. So for you to try to get to bed early is hard.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of hard. I mean, it's getting more and more difficult, for me now. And I mean, this is just the first full week of school.
Right.
But I can work on less sleep. So I'm a little bit better. I mean, but I'll push it because I don't know, this early morning walk thing. Now, when it starts getting cold, I don't know how we'll do with it. But it's just, oh man, it's just the night skies before sunrise is just spectacular. So get up and go walking tomorrow morning, y'all. It'll be fun. So y'all had your school board meeting last night. Was it a busy one?
We did. It was not. It was it was more of a reporting, just what you said, getting back to school. First full week underway. And so we started off just talking about the things that we've seen that have been very positive coming back to school. I know, the first week of school is always a stressful time for a lot of families, but it's an exciting time. Mm-hmm. And so I think last time we visited with you, we were talking about all the things that people and families needed to do, getting their supplies ready and getting some assistance if they needed that. You talked about getting to bed on time, getting back in those routines, and doing those things, and helping establish those routines around the house so that it's not chaotic in the mornings. Mm-hmm. And so we had some conversation about that. We talked about just some of the normal, I'd say problems, so just normalities of coming back to school, and one of those is traffic. A lot of folks. Traffic and parking lots and people coming to new buildings, and with the rezoning sometimes, as people go into a new school, they may not know which way to go in, where front or back. Some of our schools have a bus entrance and a car rider entrance and things like that. So, getting in the right line, getting that routine again, going back. We talk about just, even for our smaller kids, having their backpacks in their arms and, kissing and taking care of the goodbyes,
all that kind of stuff, because you got to do that.
You got to do that, and that takes some time. a lot of families we know during the first week of school, they may be more likely to drive their students to school than they would be putting them on the bus after a week or so. Because again, they're coming in with their school supplies, their teacher want lists, and their teacher wish list. And so, maybe they have their hands extra full coming in. But so we're always monitoring those things the first week of school, trying to help. We send our staff out to the schools just to kind of be an extra hand, an extra eye, an extra pair of legs to run errands and do things for our principals that they need. So my supervisors and my coordinating staff are often out in schools helping as best they can. And, some of them doing traffic this week and things like that. But it has been a very good start back. We're looking at numbers. And again, sometimes we've had some students not show up to school yet. So it's a weekend now. And we'll be making more calls, trying to find where those families are, and trying to get roles settled down so that you really know how many students are going to be in your class. And we've got a couple of places that numbers haven't shown the way we anticipated they would. So we may have to sort out some classes and sort out some teachers in some places where we might need a teacher to transfer to another building because the enrollment is not what we anticipated in those buildings. So we try to get that taken care of as quickly as possible because, during that first week or two, those relationships that you build and what to expect and what am I going to know about being in your class and what are the demands and what are the expectations of that class. So we had some conversation about that. We did look at enrollment. Enrollment is relatively stable from where it was last year. And again, 100 or so students haven't shown up, so we need to get our staff busy about calling those homes. Have you moved? Have you transferred schools? Are you going to homeschool or private school or something like that? And so we'll be doing that and trying to wrap those things up maybe by this time next week.
I had a couple on my roll, one in particular, I think, that maybe two that they said, well, they've moved, they've done this, they've done that. So you do, and it takes a minute to get that sorted out, and you kind of hold off on some of the things that you're going to do because you don't want kids missing out, but you can't pull back too much.
Right.
You got a lot of things to do. I mean, we put our first newscast up on Monday, and you just got to jump into that and get these kids acclimated to doing it. I'm going to get you to pull that microphone a little bit closer to you.
And particularly at high schools, when you say we've got to get busy because, there are roughly 85, 90 days in the first semester. And, we know some of those are taken up by other activities. But, to take 90 days and cover a whole course in algebra or geometry, English, or something that you need to do, there's not a lot of time to waste, and we've got to get busy about those things. So it is. It's a challenging time for teachers, but it's good. And again, if there are families maybe that forgotten we started school this time or moved in, and need to get their students in, it's important to get to school now so that we can go ahead and get them in classes and get them learning.
Let's do it. Come on, it's time. And if you get have that structure, I don't know how people work with just nothing. I've got to have it. I've got to have it. And it just, I don't know. That's how I thrive. And your kids will too, if you get them into it. And if you just push yourself to get on a schedule, you got to do it when you go to work. So I mean, it's just part of it. So get used to it now and just make it. That's one thing. As busy as my grandchildren are with baseball and all that kind of stuff and trying to steal time, that structure is good for them.
It is.
It is. Rather than just sitting around, they've got something going all the time. And as much as I'm like, can I take them to do, and it's like, well, it's good for them to have that structure and have purpose. Have a purpose to your day. Yeah. And so school is a great way to get that. If you've been lacking that all summer, let's get going. All right, school board meeting, busy? No, yeah.
Well, we had several. I assume those people that have been back in school, they've seen some changes with staffing. And so last night we had an opportunity to introduce all of our new administrators.
Oh, okay.
And so
there's a bunch.
There are.
Yeah.
We had 3 new principals that we introduced. Miss Jen Teachner, she's principal at Crestview. Mr. Ken Neitz is principal over at Coopertown Middle. And Dr. Patrick Carneal is now the principal at White House Heritage.
He is an impressive individual. I mean, military and just, Oh my goodness. He is an impressive individual. I mean, I don't know the other two, and I only know him through reputation because my husband admires him so much because he was vice principal at Springfield.
At Springfield.
But I mean, come on, he's no joke. I mean, getting called into the Pentagon and all this. I mean, just
That's right.
He's amazing. But what a blessing to have him.
So those are our three building principals. We do have another handful of assistant principals. Brian Albamont. He's at Innovation Academy.
Okay.
Dr. Joseph Bradley, Greenbrier Middle School. Nicole Brown, Cheatham Park. Sarah Hall at Crestview Elementary. Kayla Sorrells, White House Heritage Elementary. And Stephen Pelt at Coopertown Elementary. Lori Wyatt at Kreisel Elementary.
Okay.
So all new assistant principals. And, as we've gone through that interview process and placed those people, sometimes in the summer, as we talked about, I think back maybe in May, when people make decisions to transition in their lives and do different things, maybe a supervisor leaves, so often a principal will come into that position, and then we have to find a new principal and then find a new assistant principal. So, just hours have gone into those 8 or 10 appointments that we've seen, and we feel really good about those. Excited for the new school year. We're also excited about the principals and assistant principals that are staying in their positions, that are there and leading their schools. But that first year as a principal or assistant principal, our office tries to provide that extra support for them and just, reminding the people they are new. Things change when you change leadership. You don't expect the same thing just to continue on. You expect quality. We expect high expectations. But again, just, coming in, and there will be some new flavor in some of the buildings because of the changes and that culture that they bring with them, and just, a different approach sometimes.
And I was just trying to look and see if I had a schedule from from Jim Bellis, our communications director. He had set up where we did interviews with the principals, and I know we're doing that again this year.
We are.
But I think that's starting in September. We held off in August because it was first week of school.
Right.
But I've got to look for that schedule. But we'll be visiting with our principals again, and that was really insightful because you get in one of my first questions, Jim was like, "Well, what are you going to ask them?" I said, "I want to know what they're most proud of about their school," and always, and the answers vary. You think kind of think to have that kind of stereotypical, but I mean, there's just different things, and quite often it's their staff and that they've put together, and their team that they have in their schools, and it's a lot of times the parents and the kid. I mean, it's just very interesting to hear from those principals. So that will be on, I think we do that on the first Tuesday of the month or the second Tuesday of the month. I'll have to look at the schedule. I think it's the second Tuesday of the month. I can't remember right off the top of my head.
What's interesting about what you just said, asking principals what they're most proud of. Our staff meets with principals usually toward the end of August. We meet with them individually. We come out to the schools and visit with them. That's the first question we ask as well.
Yeah.
What is going right, and what are you so proud of? Just 1 month into school, what are you proud of?
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page with that. That's funny. But with that said, we will get that going, and we'll get that on. We'll be visiting with them. But that's always something that I really look forward to. But just kind of knowing that we've got, so we've got all the principal and all the assistant principals spots filled.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But now we do have still jobs. I know we need bus drivers. Ooh, we need bus drivers.
Yes.
And we need support staff. I mean, how are we doing on teacher? Do we still have some teacher openings and things like that?
We do have some teacher openings. I think we're better than we've been in a long time. And I think that's because we got out and really started recruiting earlier. We started signing contracts and getting those commitments from people earlier, and trying to fill the vacancies and trying to be maybe a little more proactive than we've been about anticipating vacancies and asking people, are you going to retire? Are you going to come back to work, and things like that. So I feel much better about where we are staffing wise in terms of certified teachers. Now, certainly there are lots of positions that things happen and people go on leaves and take leave. So I know we always talk about substitute teachers coming in, filling leaves, coming in, finding out what you can do. But bus drivers, I know we had several turnover over the summer, and just that's a tough job. It's an interesting job, but it requires a unique schedule too. A couple hours in the morning, couple hours in the afternoon, and it takes that special license, which we can help you get the license and train for the test and go take the test. But it is a challenge, and we invite people to come out. School nutrition, I think we are pretty full there, but we can always use substitute workers, and that's a good way to get in. When you come work a little while for somebody that might be out or taking a few days off, and then you demonstrate your skills, and they'll try to work you in. But
and that's if you're thinking that you might be interested in working in schools, getting one of the part-time jobs, the fill-in positions, being a sub is a great way to get your feet wet and see if this is for you.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. I've been really excited about. I mean, when we've lost some people, I'm going to super miss at Greenbrier that retired or moved positions. I've been really excited about the people who I've gotten to know that have come in though, because you're always like, well, but then I mean, I'm not going to name names, but man. We've got those positions filled really well. I think I'm just talking to the ones who filled those shoes. I'm like, oh yeah. This is going to be great.
And I think what you're talking about is, when somebody leaves, I think our mind just normally goes to who's going to replace that person. But it's more than that person. It's somebody coming in with a new personality, adding their skills to that faculty, and it does change. And I like routines, and we talked about routines and schedules earlier, but at the same time, there is a newness and a freshness and a revitalization, if you will, of somebody bringing in new ideas, even if they're just transferring from maybe across the county to, maybe they've worked in the northern part of the county and come into the central or central to east or something like that. Just the movement among staff, it does bring a freshness, and we've talked to our new administrators about that, but also I know that from a teaching perspective as well. I taught at Greenbrier in my first couple of years of working and things, and then transferred to East Robertson, and just a different culture, a different community, different expectations, and so coming into that community, and then I think I've worked in White House, I've worked in Springfield, and so just the whole dynamics of that is, and every school kind of has its own culture, and we know that.
And it's just like I said, there's one program in particular I was real concerned about when the person was leaving, and to see the person that's in that slot, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to say it on it, but I'll tell you off mic, but wow. I mean, just wow. It's going to be better than ever.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited because I know the kids really love that program, and I didn't want to see it fall to the wayside. And oh wow, yeah, great hire, and just several like that just have really just stood out. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I mean, man, it's like Mayor Vogel says, God, we get to live and work in Robertson County. It's a good day. And it's a blessed day, but I love it. Y'all know how much we love it. We just adore it, and just love the kids. Can't say enough about if you're somebody that is kind of wondering what you want to do and you're older, retire into teaching. I've seen several. It's kind of funny. I think it's kind of the trend might be catching on. I've seen several older folks getting into the schools because it will keep you young, and they need to hear from us, y'all.
Right.
They need to hear from us older folks because it's different. And they love to hear the stories, too, about how things were before these things came along. It was a different world, but, it's just fun. It's just fun working with them. But anyway, what else have you got? I'll tell you what, let me pause and do one of my breaks. I got 2 breaks I got to do. We're going to talk about Bernard Farms, Custom Cuts and Market, and Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. I'm sitting here texting Julie Bernard right now about what you got going. We'll get on to that here in just a minute because they're closing out on Sunday and Mondays. The fall schedule, kids getting back to school, harvest time, they kind of have to adjust those hours. We'll talk about that in just a minute. I want to start with Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You know what we're talking about. We talk about them every day because they're our longest running full-time sponsor here at One Street Over. They make this possible, and we appreciate it so much. Continuing to brag on them. They've been in Cross Plains around 30 years. They got here just a little after my husband and I. We've been here in Robertson County about 32 years. They got here just about the same time, just a little bit after. This is our adopted home, just like them. They're Cross Plainians. We're I don't know if we're Springfieldian. I don't know. We're Robertson Countyans. But to commemorate that, they gave the city of Cross Plains a smart police car, and it's the cutest little thing. Barry's been driving one of these with Exit Prime on it for years and years and years. But so they gave them a smart police car, and it is just the cutest thing. And it's going to be a fun addition to their city hall, and it's become, they say, a very popular topic of conversation around town. But it's just a way to say thank you for being such a great community, and we've got great communities all over Robertson County. And Barry and Rebecca, when it comes to buying and selling, they specialize in Robertson County properties. But because they have a diverse background, they've worked all over. She was in radiology before she got into real estate, but that was many years ago. Of course, he was a vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville for 17 years. So they've worked all over. They're from Kentucky originally, like myself. So while they specialize in Robertson County properties, they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. They understand the nuances of working in Tennessee and living in Kentucky because they have a state income tax. What does that do to your bottom line and your budget on how much home you can afford? All these things that you got to think about and look into, they're going to help you sort that out if you're on the buying side. If you want to sell, you got a marketer on your team that can make sure everybody's going to see your property in the absolute best light so you can get top dollar. If you want to be a realtor, they will mentor you into working with Exit. It's the team that Rebecca sought out when she went into real estate. She wanted something that would do everything she needed to make sure she was successful, and man, has she been. Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You can contact Rebecca, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or check them out at sellwithbecky.com or buy, robertsoncounty.com. Let them know U-Turn sent you. All right, on with the events of the school board meeting last night. Dr. Danny Weeks, our director of Robertson County Schools, is in the house. We do this. We had a visit a little out of sync last month because I was in Mexico on our mission trip when we normally would have met. And it was kind of fun to do it just the week before school started, so we can say, let's go. It was kind of like our little radio pep rally. You know, we've had a lot of fun pep rallies all over the county as we get ready. You know, isn't that fun? I love that we do that right out of the gate. We had the best one on Friday. It was so much fun. And it's just and we've got, like I said, pep rally on the square has moved to Martin Luther King. I've started calling it the countywide pep rally because if it's not on the square, it's not on the square. I put that on our little marquee at Greenbrier. It's also known as pep rally on the square, but it's now the countywide pep rally at MLK.
Okay, Park.
Tomorrow, 5:30 to 7:30, and we're taking it back, y'all. We lost the trophy last year, but no. Green's bringing it home tomorrow, y'all. I'm just saying. These kids are fired up. They're ready.
It's so exciting to get to see. You know, you see the bands, you see the cheerleaders, and the teams coming in those competitions. So it's a fun time.
It is a fun time. Yeah. So be there. MLK. So what else have you got going?
We talked about new staff. Let me talk about our Grow Your Own program.
I love that.
We had graduates last night who graduated, and they made it all through the program, earned their teaching degrees, earned their bachelor's degrees while they were working for us. And so these are, homegrown people that have gone through Robertson County schools. Whatever happened to them in life, they had a chance to go back, work, and earn their diplomas and their teaching licenses at the same time. So that group of 6 was recognized at the board meeting last night, and they're in their classrooms today and going to be there, and we're so excited just to be able to keep them. They've grown up here, they stay here, they're going to contribute back and give back to their community. So we had an opportunity to recognize them last night. Was
Hannah Martin one of them? Is she?
I think she was.
Because that blows my mind. She only graduated year before last. Yeah. And that's Jack Martin's on the radio with me all the time. He's pastor up at Green Ridge Church of Christ, and that's why I know her story. But she didn't graduate this past year. She graduated year before, and for her to already be in that, I mean, are you kidding me? That's amazing. Yeah. Now, I'm sure she did a lot of work in her high school years to get that undergraduate done. Well, just like we've got Mackenzie Wood, who graduated. She's just, I think she may have been the same class as Hannah. And she went into the nursing program at Tech, and she already had not her undergraduate, they had their associate's degree, yes, from Austin P. And so Mackenzie was able to get into the nursing program last summer. I mean, her, just like that, she's going to be she's going to be a nurse. And it blows my mind.
Right.
It saves them on money when it comes to their education. And I know the Grow Your Own, do they have their education paid for?
It is, and
That's incredible.
They're actually working for us.
Yeah.
And so, I think a lot of people have to work when they go to college
Sure.
and pick up a side job. But, why work in fast food, or why work at a big box store or something like that, when you can work in the schools, and they schedule their classes for them. And so they go through as a cohort, and they work all day. Then they take their classes at night together, the education classes that they need. They come out with, most of them come out with an elementary education degree and a special education certification along with it. So,
wow.
We have a lot of flexibility that is paid for. And, they owe us that commitment to teach for us. And, we've had a few people that maybe circumstances of life changed, and they might have moved, and we just asked them to pay that back.
Sure.
And so, that's a normal expectation, but what better way to invest in young people that are going to come back to work for us and commit to serving that next generation of students.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful program. And what is the commitment after their graduation for the district, as far as how long do they do?
I hate to say time for time, but if it takes you 3 years to go through the program,
Okay.
they're on that 3-year commitment to us.
But that's
Right.
nothing. I mean,
Right.
and then you're going to fall in love with Robertson County, and you're going to stay put.
Yeah.
Because it's your home.
Right.
And that's the hope. And honestly, we're seeing more and more do that. I mean, I have so many that come in that I end up talking to, or maybe I'm teaching with. They grew up here. And this is their home. They went to school here. They have no desire to leave this community because it's so special. And I think the Grow Your Own program is just phenomenal.
And
phenomenal.
To be able, like you said, to invest in our community. It's fine to go serve and to do that, but to be hands and feet in our community, to get involved. You talked about the pep rally in the square, and the effort that the Chamber of Commerce has put into that. We're so thankful for them and their partnership. They come in and they work with schools, but it's not just an isolated event like that. They work with us all year long to help placements for students that are looking for internships or apprenticeships or work-based learning. Just all of that together. So we're excited about just being a part of the community. And I think we talked about that last month. That schools are not just that isolated unit inside your city, but they are a part of our county.
Amen.
And it touches whether we have students in school or not. We're touched by nieces and nephews and grandkids and all that kinds of things like that. People we go to church with.
Mm-hmm.
There's that connection back to the community and growing that community and serving here.
Yeah, I love it. And you will just love being a part of it if you just get out and get involved. It's so exciting, and we just love being a part of it. But I'm getting some comments here, and it's nothing about, I was looking at the comments. It was back on the meteor shower. Paul Rainey's telling me the meteor shower is supposed to be better this morning or tonight this morning, and said that the two planets I saw clearly were Venus and Jupiter. So I got a little distracted there for a minute. I apologize. I was looking at comments, and I didn't know if there were questions for you, but it's more about our little view this morning. I'm talking with Dr. Danny Weeks. He's our director of schools, about all the things that are wonderful happening in Robertson County, and how that this Grow Your Own, that's where we were talking about all of that, and how that you just really want to be a part of the community. And do we know how many we have currently in the program? So you graduated 6, right?
Graduated 6. I think that's the second class that's gone through. I think there may have been a group in before I came back. I think there may have been a group that had started, but last time I saw some numbers, I think they were between 11 and 18 or so.
That's
so
great.
More than a dozen.
Well, that's bringing us, when it comes to trying to fill these slots for teachers.
Right.
What a great way to do it. What a great way to do it. I think it's brilliant.
Some of those folks are straight out of high school. You mentioned they've gone through the teaching as a profession class, and so they've taken those courses. But some of them have families, maybe tried college when they first got out of high school and it didn't work for them. Maybe they didn't have a chance to go to college when they first got out. And so this provides that way. There is a pretty intensive interview and commitment process, because again, to be able to work all day and then
go through
take a
classes
30-minute
at night.
break
Oh,
and
yeah.
then to take classes at night. And a lot of times they're online classes. And sometimes people don't do as well with an online. They want to be face to face with somebody. So
Yeah.
it is a unique experience to go through classes like that. But how rewarding it is in the end.
If somebody wanted to find out more, where would they need to? Would they just need to reach out to the central office?
Call our Human Resources Office, 384-5588. Ask for Polly Spencer.
Okay.
And so Ms. Spencer is the HR supervisor, and a former principal from the Greenbrier area, Mitzi Grogan. Mitzi is our mentor that works with those and provides that support to them, helps them, a little tutoring if needed, and a little, just encouragement to stay on task. And she helps them in their classrooms during the day and helps them at night through their college courses.
Awesome. That's a great program. I can't say. I just seen the kids that I've known that are involved with it. It's been awesome. Talking with Dr. Danny Weeks about the school board meeting last night, which you can see. They keep it archived. You can go and watch it. It's on YouTube, and you can link it through our website. You can find it. So if you would like to see it in person, but he's giving you a synopsis of it. So what else have you got for us?
A couple of building projects that are on task. And one is we're building a barn for agriculture programs at Joe Burns High School. Last month we approved one for East Robertson High School, and this month we've taken a look at one at Joe Burns High School.
Awesome.
And those are funded through state dollars. If you recall, about 3 to 4 years ago, the governor sent money to enhance some of our career and technical programs. And so in agriculture, Mr. Gregory, who's a supervisor there, has talked with the communities, and at those two high schools, there was space on campus to place a new barn on those campuses, and
That's
so
cool.
it's going to be a place that can hold some animals, that the students can actually get out there and do the hands-on work. I think they've talked about some other areas that might. I think they talked about some grooming stations and some working stations for the animals, and so students can have those hands-on experiences. And we anticipate those. Hope they'll be ready before Christmas, maybe right after, if not.
That's right.
But those projects are out there, and then also at Joe.
Just to give an accolade too to the ag teachers, because when you have animals and you have gardens you have to take care of,
Yes.
they don't get the break like a lot of teachers do. They're working all the time.
Right.
And that's a hard job. I mean, I'm a farm girl. And so just if you've got your ag teachers, man, we have Dr. Gibson and Miss Harden at ours, and they're just hands down just the best. But your agriculture teachers, it's a commitment. And you need to really appreciate them. I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there because I know you talk about bringing in animals in a barn. That's going to have to be taken care of all the time.
It's going to have to be taken care of.
That's livestock.
We've added greenhouses to most of our campuses, and
we have one now.
So and so those as you said, that commitment, and it's teaching the students, and again going back to routine. You can't. Just let those go over the weekend, because if you do, they're in a mess. So
that's for sure.
Coming
I didn't
back,
interrupt you, but go ahead with your next.
No, great. And then we're also working and have approved a full revamp of baseball areas at Joe Burns High School as well. So the Booster Club up there is really excited, doing some great things up there. So they're coming on campus and making some adjustments and hitting facilities, I think, and just kind of a revamping of the baseball field. And so again, I think that's another thing about being in towns that really invest in their schools. And people get together, they see a need. I talked with somebody yesterday that just brought to my office, here's a need that I see, and I have some resources I'd love to. It was just a small painting and repair job, and she said, I'd love to take care of that for you. So we're going to work that out. But again, this Booster Club came together and working on the project there at Joe Burns. But so many of our schools just have great booster clubs and great support groups.
PTOs.
PTOs
fabulous.
Yeah. And just coming together to make things better for staff and for students. And sometimes they take care of those things that maybe the school system can't do. I know that there was a lot of volunteer labor at the Joe Burns project that I talked about. And, it just just people excited for their kids, their grandkids, and different things. And so again, for somebody that may not have students in school, may not know some needs, make time to go visit with your principal or assistant principals. Come by and see somebody in our office, and we can, hook you up with people that have resources. And had somebody come in, not long ago and just said, I noticed the bushes need a little trimming around the school. Could I help with that?
Yeah.
What a great opportunity to take a Saturday morning and get a group of guys and ladies to come in and just, do a little trimming and cutting on those things. And those are things that, maybe our maintenance staff hasn't been able to get to, or, things like that. So,
or if you have a teacher that needs their room just deep cleaned. It's so funny. Miss Howard went from being a counselor to an elementary teacher, and I forget which school she's in. But I'm friends with her and just love her. We miss her terribly, but very excited for the kindergarten she's teaching. But just to watch the transformation of her room from being just a room, and it took community to do that with her. Yeah. I mean, and it was just such a beautiful thing to just watch that transform. I saw that happen with my niece up in Kentucky, because she's a kindergarten teacher. But I love seeing the community get in there and help and just do that. But Miss Howard especially, I know my niece, her mama and her hubby were big involved in hers, but with Stephanie, it was community came in and did that, and that was really cool, and a lot of her family too. But it was just fun to watch that transformation. I mean, it just went from stark just walls to, oh my goodness, I want to go to school here. It was really cool, but very good. I tell you what, let's take and pause. Let me do my break for the Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. This is just so cool because I'm sitting here messaging her all the time, and I can message her and just say, "Hey, what you doing today?" And she'll give me the scoop. We had they did their beef last week, and again that goes super quick. They're cutting pork and their regular meat cuts and making ground pork and mild sausage patties today. Hot sausage and barbecue for the weekend. So they're getting set this week, getting that fresh pork cut. And so if you want something great, we're still having the warm summer days and, approaching Labor Day. You want that perfect thing for the grill, they got it. Get by Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. Remember, they've adjusted their hours. They're closed on Sunday and Mondays right now, but they want to get you to come by and just see everything that they have to offer. They have some fresh produce coming out of their garden. They always have their freezers full, but they also have just that fresh counter that just gets packed in, and you just can't beat when you throw that stuff on the grill because they grow it, they process it. I was in there one day, and I've told this before, but it still just tickles me. There was a woman came in and got something out of the fridge, and she wanted to know, and I forget it because it was some kind of a pork sausage blend of some kind. And she had said, "Now, is there any MSG in this?" And Julie said, "Well, no, ma'am." And she says, "Well, sometimes they'll tell you there's not, but then there will be." And Julie goes, "Well, I'm they, and I'm the one who made it. There's no MSG in there." You can't beat that. And also, too, get on your calendar for the Friday, the 19th of September. They're going to have a pasture to plate dinner. It's a fall farm to table dinner on the grounds at Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. And those tickets sell quickly. It will sell out. So a pasture to plate dinner coming up, and that's on Friday, September 19th. You're going to want to be a part of that. Go out and see them. They're at 7536 Clay Gregory Road in Orlinda. They are open right now. You can go by and get breakfast. You can grab lunch from them. They're open 7 to 4 Tuesday through Saturday, 7 to 4 Tuesday through Saturday. Closed on Monday and Sunday right now as they deal with all the fall stuff. Go by and see them. You're going to have fun visiting with Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. When you get out there, please let them know U-Turn sent you. All right. What else have we got to talk about?
Last thing, again, just talking about enrollment. We talked about that just a little bit earlier, but just wanted to stress that we do have some pre-K classes that are open right now. And those pre-K classes are, we actually have plenty of room this year for people that might not have enrolled yet.
Right.
And so these are, the governor sends some money to each district based on your population and allows us to host that preschool or pre-K, and it is a formal pre-K program.
Right.
It begins being income based for families that qualify under certain limits, but if those seats aren't filled, then we can open it up to anybody. And after 30 days, so again, we've been in school 6 days now. After another 20 days, anybody, there's no income requirement at that point. And I would say we're probably in the neighborhood of 60 to 70 seats countywide for that. And so again, this would be, we talked about routines, we talked about getting ready for school, we talked about, getting our students off their keyboards and off their iPads and things like that, and getting used to reading, getting used to the routines of, socially getting adapted to being able to follow directions, walk in lines, eat at school, get on the bus. We do provide transportation. It's not at every school, but certainly, again, they can call our offices and find out where all of the seats are. But unusually, we have more seats here in Springfield available than we normally have had.
Mm-hmm.
So great opportunity for families with young children. And, right now it is open for based upon income qualifications. But after another 20 days, it'll be open to first come, first serve.
What are the ages on that again?
These are 4-year-olds.
4-year-olds.
Yeah.
4-year-olds. Okay. And I, my 3-year-old grandson is in a Mother's Day Out program, but as far as he's concerned, he's in school.
Right.
And it's just a couple of days a week, but just seeing that structure for him and the difference, because he's a wild little thing. But when he is in that program, it's just different. It's just it changes that. It just changes that expectation on him.
Right.
And just at 3 years old, just a couple of days a week, just such a difference in him when he's got that structure. We can't say enough about it. And this pre-K program is 5 days a week.
Oh,
it's all day.
I was thinking you were talking about Mother's Day, but yes, ours is 5 days a week.
Just 2 days a week.
Yeah.
But he's in just 3.
Yeah.
But this one that we're talking about, this is every day.
Right.
I mean, it's a great program. You need to get your kiddos in it, and because when the 20-day period's over, those seats will be gone because there's plenty of people on the waiting list wanting those if you don't need them that are income based.
Right.
So, and it's a great help. I mean, just a great help for the families. I love that. So get on it, people. Come on, parents. Get to it. What else you got?
Last thing we had is I'm really excited about this too. Our board is looking at. We talked about building on campuses now, but we've also had that long range vision and knowing that Robertson County continues to grow, and so we're looking at the possibility of do we need additional middle school space, and so there's consideration for middle school space here in the city limits of Springfield. Also, middle school space needed in the White House area that's just really growing. And so on the 19th of August, which is next week, there have been several architects who are invited to come in, share a little bit about their design and their background work and their interest in building a potential middle school here in Robertson County. So the board will hopefully, they can't take any action next week, so they're going to hear presentations from architects with the goal of, in September, selecting an architect that would help guide and lead through that process of, what would a new middle school look like, where would be the best place to put that, and all that. We're working with a group called Hewlett Spencer. They're kind of a construction manager firm, and they're an owner's agent, so they'll be coordinating things with the efforts of the architect, the builders, and pulling all that stuff together for us. And so I'm really excited about that. Again, our numbers are pretty full. It's been more than, I guess, 12 or 13 years since we've built a school. And again, it's with the growth in our county, a school building is not something that we take lightly. It's a long process, but we're about to run out of space in several of our areas, and so we need to get ahead of that before we're having to drag portables in and rent those portables and all that kind of stuff. So upcoming, and again, I think those will be taped, I would assume, and so those can be. I think they will be. I'm pretty sure. So
you can watch it and see what's going on and all that if you want to know what's happening. But we're growing whether you want us to or not, and we've got to keep the schools up to date,
right?
Because these kids, it's not going to stop. It's just getting bigger and bigger all the time, and the job gets bigger and bigger all the time. I know it's a lot. I know, like I said, your calendar, I can't even imagine what it looks like right now with all the events going on.
Always busy.
Always busy.
Yeah.
But anything else you got going on?
Well,
that,
just again, I just want to stress that our office is there to support our community, and so we always believe that if somebody runs into a glitch or somebody runs into a problem, we always believe it's best solved at the lowest level.
Right.
If there's a problem with a teacher and homework, you don't carry that to a supervisor at central office.
Go to central office.
You need to go talk to the teacher
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And then if you can't resolve that at that teacher level, then maybe you need to talk to an assistant principal or a principal at that building. And so again, I just want to stress that our office is there to support people. So if someone doesn't know how to get in touch with somebody or can't find their phone number, we can facilitate those meetings. We can facilitate setting those up. We can talk to those, and help through issues. Again, if someone's having trouble with maybe their free lunch applications or having trouble with their bus stops or something like that, we can help intervene in those things, and we can help solve some of those problems that maybe can't be solved somewhere else. So our office is there to do that. That's their job, is to remove those barriers to teaching and learning. So, any way that we can help.
Well, and there was a couple things that we talked about early on that kind of sparked some questions that I had for you, since we've got pretty much all this other stuff done. You had mentioned, I want to touch on this, is since we have a minute, unpack how our SROs work around the county.
Sure.
If you don't mind, because I think that's something that, and then I also too want to talk a little bit, we were talking about the need for subs, and our sub program has changed.
Yes.
And our cleaning service has changed. So
Yes.
those are three things we could touch on that are a little bit different, because we do have a minute. But the SRO is something I think, when I learned this, was probably one of the most fascinating things to me, because I thought that they were employed by the school. They are not. So why don't you explain to everybody how the SRO program works here in Robertson County?
And I'm going to go back. You weren't completely wrong. At one point in time, the school system did employ those folks.
Okay.
So they did. 3 or 4 years ago, the state kind of took that program over. They used to send money to the schools, and then the school would spend that money however, contracting with people to do that. Could be the sheriff's office. It could be a local municipality that, had a police force or something. A few years ago, I guess it was 3 years ago, that changed. And the money now comes in the form of a grant to the sheriff's office. And so those dollars go to the sheriff, and then we work out a memorandum of understanding, which we help define what that looks like, and what services do we need, how many hours do we need, and do those officers, do they serve at a ball game, what types of ball games, and how many at certain events. And so they are acting as a partner, but they're still wearing their law enforcement hats. And so, that partnership between getting to know students, getting to know it's okay to go, to talk to the police. They are friendly. They're here to help us. They're here to help maintain order. They help check doors. They help in investigations if they're needed. But again, to have that police presence on our campuses, and it is for security, but it's also building relationships between students, staff, and the community. And so it takes a special person to do that, because there's a person that's great about patrolling the streets. There's a person that's great about working the jail, but also it takes a special personality to work in our schools. And so that memorandum of understanding, we sit down with the sheriff, and just we have a great relationship with him. We talk with him, see him at meetings every month, but we have formal meetings, I guess 2 or 3 times a year, where we sit down and talk about any issues or problems that we may be working through. And sometimes those are things that can be easily overcome, and sometimes it's not permissive. But we're very blessed in our high schools. We have 2 SROs at our high schools, and we have 1 SRO at the others. They have a leader that, a supervisor over them, so that helps manage their attendance, manage their absences, and any problems or troubles that might come up, we can help troubleshoot those. And then they also, we have that direct link to law enforcement. So if there were a crisis at a building and we needed extra support of some kind and help, they can help us do that. And we'll throw in too, just because it's kind of related, we have a great relationship with Homeland Security. 2 years ago, the governor also placed a Homeland Security agent in every county. So we have one dedicated Homeland Security agent that is dedicated, and his primary job is working with schools.
Oh, wow.
And so, when we have people that don't make wise decisions and call in bomb threats and call in, just
have no idea the repercussions,
or threatening to staff or threatening to students and things like that. He's one of our former students who has come back. We talk about serving your community.
Yeah.
Great guy, and has children in our system, and so really vested there. But we have access to people like that who can help us at any minute. So the SRO program is a great program, and again, they're there to help protect, but they're also help to serve our community in that way. You mentioned our new housekeeping vendor, and so we've changed vendors over the summer, and now we have a group called Jana King, and they are out of Nashville. But they have offices here and workers here. That's another job that I know there are always positions open, and
always.
Day shifts, night shifts, weekend shifts. So if people have interest in that, again, they can go to our website, and there are links to their contracted vendors. So but we still want to link and show people how to get in touch with them. But every building has certain specifications on what to do and how they're to be cleaned, when they're to be cleaned, and so I think it's broken down every half hour, every 15 or so minutes. Here's what you're supposed to be doing during that time, and so they've come in. Usually, it takes all summer to clean up. This company didn't start until July 1st this year, and so we've had a late start because of the way the contracts turn over. But in 30 days, we've seen, just a lot of great work that's taken place, a lot of new commitment to help make our schools a cleaner, a better, more friendly place. And again, that helps our students and our staff feel better about where they're working and where they're there, and taking care of those things. And then you asked me about
the sub-program.
The sub-program.
It has changed, and I haven't really dug into it. I don't have any days off coming up anytime soon, so I haven't looked at it. But it's different.
Little. I hope it's a little more friendly technology.
I'm sure it will be. Like I said, I haven't dug into it yet. I've been trying to get the news going. So,
our vendor is the same.
Okay.
ESS is a substitute contractor, and again, so they take care of hiring and training and bringing our substitutes. But the software that we use, if you were going to be out in a certain time, you would go on your computer, go on your app, and notify us that you're going to be out. You can request a sub for that day, and they fill that sub position.
Okay.
And so we have the same vendor, but I think the software that they're using is going to be a little more user friendly, and it's going to talk to some of our programs a little better. So it's going to help talk maybe to our payroll system a little bit better and accounting for those. Same people, but just a little different format. And I understand they have apps, and so instead of maybe having to get up and go to your laptop or your desktop computer, I think both a substitute, might be in bed this morning, get a notice that,
hey, I need you.
Teaching job at third grade at Greenbrier Elementary, or high school at East Robertson, and they can accept that right there on their app, and it logs them in and takes care of and tells them where to go, and so the people are the same, just the interface is a little different there.
Awesome. And that's critical, because if you have something that doesn't interface with what you need it to, it can be your problem. So I thought it did fine, but like you said, if in the behind the scenes, if it's not messaging what it needs to do, then that's a nightmare. So I haven't played with it yet, so I'm sure it's fine. But I thought that I just hadn't looked at the details to see that it's the same company. It's just new software. I thought it was a changing company. Yeah. So it's just different software. Very good. All right, then. I think you got all my questions answered. Do you got anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
We're just excited to be back. And, it's one of those years that just brings a lot of excitement. We're going to be having some great news. I think there's going to be some data released in mid-September from our successes from the last year.
Awesome.
And we're previewing some of that's embargoed by the state, but some things are looking really good, and we're going to be able to get out and share that with our community as well.
I love it. That's great. Somebody was asking me about the Robertson. I had somebody that they're getting ready to relocate and wanted to know how Robertson County schools are. I said, fabulous. I've not met every teacher I've talked to, every teacher I've worked with. Just they love the kids. They love what they're doing, and you know they're coming out of a city that has some fancy. I said we're country, and I mean you know some of our buildings have been around a while, but we take care of them and we're proud of them, and you just cannot beat the atmosphere. We had a new teacher come in at Greenbrier that came out of a bigger city environment. He says, just the community that I feel the minute I stepped in has been like, made it worth the commute for him. Yeah. And there you go. That's all you need to know. We get to live and work in Robertson County, and we are blessed by God. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow we will be hearing from staypositive.news. Always fun to hear the positive things. Speaking of teachers, Mr. Verlines is one of the writers for staypositive.news. And so we'll maybe take a look at something he's written and look at that tomorrow. I hope you'll join us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.
I see a temple where Jesus the